So in the tracks it did chart on the top 10, Westlife's reign at number 1 was very short-lived, just 1 week, because there's a new boy band in town with a bit more edge. Although this one is not one of the more edgy tracks, it's actually a ballad from Blue, and it's called If You Come Back.
This is the third single off the debut studio album. We've already had All Rise and Too Close. And yeah, it's much more ballad than what we're used to. Nice guitar. I think it's got a really good opening harmony, which is really, really good. And I think that Simon Webb's opener is way stronger than what we saw with Westlife on Queen of My Heart today. Much stronger.
Yeah, completely.
Really, really good.
Yeah, all 3 Blue songs have been different. You'd say they've all had a different feel to them.
Yeah.
Which is quite nice. Especially, we've spoken about Westlife and their formula. You couldn't say Blue have got a formula at this point. They always feel like something fresh up the sleeve.
Yeah.
Even if this is not a fresh sound because we've heard it before, you could be forgiven for thinking this was a cover.
Yeah.
You know, Too Close was a cover. This isn't. And I'd feel like this one was more of a cover than Too Close was. It's written by, it's one of the co-writers is Lee Brennan from 911, which is ironic considering Blues Lee and the comments he made about 911. The whole thing about the what was it you said about was it was animals, wasn't it? It was like there's no money being given to animals and helping like whales who are being killed and stuff, and you shouldn't be giving money to
9/11. Yeah,
and but pretty much. So anyway, he's front and center, and I think a lot of the discourse I read online from the time and the reviews and stuff, they centre around the fact that I think Lee in particular has made the band a bit of a laughing stock at this point.
Yeah.
And because the critics don't love this track, it became a real stick to beat them with. A lot of the reviews I read mentioned the fact that Lee's remarks have been controversial. NME, typically scathing of them, they called it drippy. I've seen other bits and bobs. Freaky Trigger in the comment section, there's people calling it competently dull. Somebody said a fourth generation photocopy of Back for Good by Take That. And somebody says calling If You Come Back an original is really stretching the meaning of the word.
Okay.
So there's a general hostility towards this track. I like it, probably because I'm a Blue fan. And that's out on the table. We all know that that's the case. I think it would be the case even if I wasn't. I think it's quite a competent ballad. It's more competent than most of the Westlife ballads we've done so far, in my opinion.
I've never thought of it as a Take That comparison. No. And actually, I kind of do hear that. I never liked Take That generally anyway, or their ballads. There's a few, like, what's the one that's in that Starlight film and all of that kind of crap?
Rule the World.
Yeah, that's good. But I do think, my sister-in-law was saying to me at the weekend, actually, that she thinks you're overhyping your Blue love.
Oh.
She does think that there are better boy bands there, but I think she's in a similar camp to me, where actually we were impacted by this Blue negativity.
Yeah.
So weirdly enough, so Blue had one hat. So before Blue even come on a TV program, there was a barrier up. And you were waiting for everything to be crap so you could slag them at this point, because Lee had kind of screwed things up. Yeah. But people are still giving them a chance and they're still going. And the music is very, very good. I do think this is a great walking advert for Lee's vocals. And I think that, potentially, had that been any other band, Lee could have been chucked at that point. Yeah. But because Lee was such a foundation of it.
Yes.
Weird enough, my sister-in-law did say she didn't realise that Lee was such a good singer. She was unaware that Lee was a good singer, and I said, you need to watch out for it and you need to check it out, because he is very, very good brilliant at what he does.
Yeah.
But I think that they're all very vocally great. I was a bit surprised by the extra high note from Duncan, which was all a bit strange.
Yeah.
But nothing about this makes me cringe.
Good. That's all right. That's fine.
Nothing makes me cringe about this. I think they're just lads. I feel like I kind of really know them. I feel like they're true, whereas that's what I don't feel with the Westlife songs so far. Pretty impressed by it. I think it's nice to see the guys wanting the girl back respectfully and being willing to change. That's a message that you kind of get lyrically within it, which is really nice. And I do feel like they're much more teamworky and accountable within their messages of relationships than what we've seen with Westlife earlier on in the episode. If you compare lyrics, Blue are much more progressive and much more respectful.
Yeah. There's one line. Yeah. You probably have more context in these things because you've had relationships and stuff, whereas this is not my sort of area. The line that Anthony sings where he says, "If I did something wrong, please tell me." Now, I watched the programme Married at First Sight Australia, where the vast majority of the men are absolute dog shit, horrible,
Okay.
Can't understand what they've done wrong, and that's the kind of thing they would come out with, where they would do something really atrocious. the woman would naturally go mad at them, and they go like, I don't think I've done anything wrong, like they shouldn't be crying, like they really gaslight the women. And I think it's a real problem on that show that the men have a bit of a thing about gaslighting the women and making it feel like they've done nothing wrong, and actually the woman's done the wrong thing. So that line from Anthony really struck a chord, because I've just been hearing similar things a lot for the last 4 weeks. I'm going to keep hearing those things for a few more weeks, because it's on for, I think, 3 months that show's on for. It's great though, it's great TV. It's bewildering. But yeah, it's interesting that you found the attitudes to be more positive. That line to me was a standout of, I guess I'm in that Married at First Sight headspace where I assumed it was negative, but yeah, Blue do feel more respectful, and I think there's a ruggedness about them, but there's also real charm about them as well. I find them really charming, and I don't care what people say. I think that my love of Blue is valid, and I don't think it's overhyped. I think they are the real deal.
Which one do you fancy the most?
Probably Anthony. I don't know, there's something about Anthony that I really like.
Anthony, is he... okay, yeah.
He does the raspy bits. He goes like, and if I did something... Oh, I can't... No, that was awful.
Actually,
but he does the sort of like the...
Weirdly that you've just done that. I listened to that. So I went through the playlist on the way in, and that was the bit that you've just done was actually the one bit that stood out for me. And I know that we're talking about Lee being a powerhouse. He just did like maybe about 4 or 5 words before Lee comes back in, and actually that rasp on that was brilliant. It was really good. It was funny that you said that.
Yeah,
good.
He does the bridge as well. It's like, baby, I didn't know, and Anthony's little bits. That's his role within the group. They've all got roles in the group, and Anthony always nails his bits. I mean, they all nail their bits, but Anthony's always one to look out for. He's always one to look out for. Yeah, I think we get on well. Yeah,
it was like he was in the room there.
Shout out to Simon Webb and his shiny pants. Did you notice the shiny pants he's wearing?
I didn't actually know.
Go back and watch the video he's wearing. You can. I mean, this is the 3rd single. Clearly, the success of All Rise, now the success of Too Close. They've got a bit of cash.
Yeah.
And now Simon's got these shiny pants. They're quite.
Let me write this.
They're quite a vision. They're a vision in shiny and spangly. Yeah.
Scott, Simon's shiny pants action. Liam, Tiffany's big city tips action.